The story of America really is a story of entrepreneurship. The history of the last 200 years has really been bold, pioneering people creating not just companies, but whole industries. We didn't become the leading economic power by accident. It was the work of entrepreneurs. And Fortune 500 companies don't just magically become large Fortune 500 companies. They start as startups and are built over time. So that's why we are in the position we were in. But there's a concern that we've lost some of that energy and have to get things back on track. And I know to this audience that's a little bit of a disconnect because people focus on Groupon or Facebook or Twitter and the social media and Silicon Valley and so forth is pretty hot. But if you look at entrepreneurship broadly across all sectors, across all regions, it actually is in a difficult position. The number of new starts is down 23% over the last 5 years. If we kept the same number of startups we had then, we'd have 2 million more jobs right now. And there are a lot of different things that need to be focused on, and both through the work of the Startup America Partnership and the Jobs Council. I chair the subcommittee around entrepreneurship and high growth companies. We've made a list of things that the private sector needs to lead on, some things the administration, the White House can do on its own, and then some things that require congressional action. And obviously getting bipartisan support is challenging, but we need to do that. And I'll just mention the three key areas, and we can talk about it in more detail. One is winning the global battle on talent. Our immigration policy in this country is insane. We attract the best and brightest to come to this country, give them terrific educations, and force them to leave to create companies in other countries to compete with us, which is just insanity. Everybody knows that, but that's been caught up in this battle around comprehensive immigration reform. So peeling that off and dealing with it in the context of comprehensive entrepreneurship reform is one key track, and there's a number of things that need to happen on that front. The second relates to access to capital, both in terms of early stage capital, and there's some great initiatives now getting traction in Congress around crowdfunding. Right now it's perfectly legal to go to Las Vegas and invest $10,000, and you don't have to be an accredited gambler, but it's illegal to do that in terms of providing money through these internet platforms, because you have to be an accredited investor. So relaxing those provisions around crowdfunding seems like we've got good progress there. Creating incentives around capital gains for early stage investments, particularly when you hold them a long period of time, for 5 years or so. And also relaxing some of the rules around IPOs for young companies. When they went public 20 years ago, we were pretty common. The market cap was $70 million. We raised $15 million. At the time, most of the IPOs were relatively small. Like 80% were under $50 million in terms of the deal size. Now it's 20% are under that size. Most companies now recognize, partly because of Sarbanes-Oxley, they go public later or get sold, and that's a problem because job creation, 90% of it happens after companies go public. So getting companies public more quickly is critical. So some of it's immigration, some of it's access to capital, some of it's regulation, including regulation around things like IPOs.
Right.